Hey latchkey kids and drive-in mutants, I'm Lady Shasha, Mistress of the Snark, and I'll be your camp counselor. Welcome to Crystal Lake. Happy Friday the 13th. I will be marathon reviewing the Friday the 13th series this weekend and possibly into Monday. We'll see how fast I can get through this. So let's get cracking on the original Friday the 13th. This starts with an iconically so bad it's good opening.
We weren't doing anything, we were just messing up.
And don't forget the old man that warns you.
You're all doomed.
This features a very young Kevin Bacon. I'm gonna let you finish Kevin Bacon, but Johnny Depp had one of the best deaths in a slasher movie. The arrow through the neck was not bad though. In fact, it still holds up after all these years. And of course, Betsy Palmer as Pamela Voorhees. She was unforgettable unless you are...
Friday the 13th.
Jason! Jason!
I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer.
No, it's not. It was Jason.
Afraid not? No way.
Listen, it was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel.
Rewatching this, I noticed that this is so much more tame than many of the sequels. Although there still are some really good kills in this. People often compare this to Halloween, and there definitely are a lot of similarities. But I also compare it to Psycho. First of all, the score. The orchestral score is similar to the orchestral score in Psycho, especially the deep cello bass line and the screeching violins. It's really a gender-swapped Psycho if you think about it. Instead of a son who hears his deceased mother, it's a mother who hears her deceased son. Another thing it has in common with Halloween is that teens having sex and being killed trope. Now, I might be an outlier in that I disagree that this is a commentary on premarital sex. There were reasons for this style of murder in both Halloween and Friday the 13th. John Carpenter said that the reason why he had the teens having sex was because he couldn't think of any other activity that would be so engaging that you wouldn't hear someone creeping up on you. And in Friday the 13th, Jason's mother blames the teens for being distracted, so much so that her son drowned. So it wasn't so much what they were doing, they could have been playing Parcheesi. It's the fact that they weren't watching her son. It also didn't become a trend for the final girl to be a virgin until the 80s. For example, in Black Christmas, the final girl is a pregnant girl. Anyways, back to the review. Did you ever notice how many guns Homegirl ran by and then just hit the killer and continues to run away without a gun? One thing I've always enjoyed about this movie is the final decapitation. And of course, that iconic jump scare ending. By the way, a 14-year-old Ari Lehman played Jason Voorhees as a child. So Ari technically is the original Jason. This review is kind of short because I have several other reviews to get through this series. But I may revisit this because there is, and I borrowed this from my sister. She has the original quadrilogy, but her Friday the 13th is the uncut version. This is my box set. It has the original 1 through 8, but I don't believe my part 1 is an uncut version, whereas hers is the uncut version. So I may come back and re-review this movie when I watch the uncut version and compare and contrast my version to her version. We'll see. In the meantime, I'll be back in a moment to talk about part 2. Welcome back. Let's talk about Friday the 13th Part 2. This one starts with a flashback recap. Basically, a girl's having a nightmare about the last 5 to 10 minutes of Part 1. This opening has great suspense, especially due to the camera work and pacing. Shout out to the cameraman that had to walk backwards, down a hallway, turn left, and then turn right. Great first fatality. And that head in the refrigerator, 2 thumbs up. And even the cat jump scare wasn't bad, except for they made the cat screech. Cats don't usually screech when they jump. They're actually pretty silent. But I will say this, cat jump scares are real. I've been jump scared by cats multiple times. One time I went to get something to drink and my sister's cat jumped off the top of the refrigerator. I don't know how she got up there, but it was such a movie cat jump scare. Like picture me getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go get something to drink, and I walk into a dark kitchen, open the refrigerator, and a cat jumps off the top of the refrigerator. That is like classic movie cat jump scare, but it happened to me in real life. And there was no screeching. And also, she's never been up there before, and she hasn't been back up there since. So it was such a weird moment. Anyway, my point is that's the thing that really happens. And this was just the opening. We now get to the title sequence. Why the title explodes, I don't know. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I've watched these, and it feels like forever. Part 2 has a lot more camp counselors, which means more fatalities. Speaking of fatalities, I love the machete to the face of the guy who's using a wheelchair. I love that they add that after this happens, he rolls backwards down the stairs with the machete still planted in his head into a freeze frame. The final girl in this is smarter than the one in part 1 who ran past all the guns, but not by much. But still an improvement. She at least knew to climb out the window and to try to get to her car. And to her credit, she did kick Jason in the balls. She also attacked him with a chainsaw. But then she put down the chainsaw. No, you keep the chainsaw. The climax of this is great, with the final girl impersonating Jason's mother. How she knew to do that, I don't know. It's funny how in Psycho 3, Jennifer Tilly's character tried to do that same thing to Norman. See how Friday the 13th copied Psycho, and then Psycho turned around and copied Friday the 13th? Then there's the last jump scare. I loved how they showed it from 2 different angles. They were proud of that special effects work, and they should be. This is Jason's adult debut, in his original overalls, flannel shirt, and bag with one eye hole cut out. This time he's played by Warrington Gillette. Why he's suddenly adult when in the last film he died as a child?
The world may never know.
Anyways, this is probably the best part 2 of any horror series ever made, and I think I enjoy it better than part 1. But don't take my word for it. Watch it for yourself. Just because I love something doesn't mean you won't hate it, and just because I hate something doesn't mean you won't love it. Thank you for making it to the end of this video, and stay tuned for part 3 and 4. Bye! Hey, did you know that I work for tips now? You could hit me up on Venmo or Cash App. While I'm happy to receive the type of coin that jingles, I love to receive the type that folds. Somebody show these people where the subscribe button is. They don't know what they're doing.